I'm Peter Loshak. We've got the Final Four coming up this weekend. I'm very excited for it, and we are going to preview both games here at SBR Forum Videos. One of my favorite returning guests from all time, one of my all-time favorite handicapping guests on these shows, Troy West from allplayswin.com, who I think went 3-0 last week with us, didn't you?
3-0 last week, Pete, and actually none of them were too close. Duke handles Michigan State by double digits. Oregon comes within 8. That spread was 10.5, but I felt Oregon actually played them pretty tough. Louisville kind of played out of their minds that game, as they continue to do. And the Duke-Michigan State game goes under. And got a few early leans on these Final Four games. I'm pretty excited about it. Glad to be back on the show, Pete.
All right, well, very impressive 3-0 last week. Troy West, not a shocker to me, considering how well you've done with us for a year and a half now. So we're going to talk about Michigan and Syracuse right now. But first, give a plug for allplayswin.com briefly.
Thanks, Pete. 6 years going now, strong. Baseball season starting up. Big for us. We're real excited about it. Continuing to finish strong in the NIT and the March Madness tournament. I had a couple slip-ups. I'll be the first to admit we were on Ohio State last week. But other than that, we came through strong with Oregon and Duke and been riding Florida out. And then Florida slipped up against Michigan as one of our other losses. But come take a look at our website. We've got some great deals going on here for the Final Four as we move into the NBA playoffs, baseball. We cover it all. We're doing a lot of big things. We're very honest people over at allplayswin.com. We take care of our customers. Give us a call anytime. I'm around.
All right. Michigan-Syracuse. Syracuse, of course, playing that great zone defense. They're a 2.5-point underdog here. The total's 131. I'm telling you, I think that Syracuse, when their zone defense is working, they tend to really they tend to win and they tend to be undervalued. Syracuse is actually 3-0 in national semifinal games under Jim Boeheim, and that tells me that, when everything's clicking with Syracuse in the big games, they can't be stopped. Very impressive how they absolutely shut down Marquette. Marquette, they held them to a season low point total, and I think they held Indiana to a season low point total before then. Michigan. They do that guy Staukaskas or whatever his name is, 6 for 6 from outside from 3-point range against Florida. So maybe Michigan will be able to shoot over the Syracuse zone. But I'm thinking Syracuse should not be a dog here. I like them to win the game. What do you think?
Very tough game to cap here, but I'm actually rolling the other side. I'm rolling with Michigan. I just think they have way too many athletes on the floor, way too many guys that can shoot the ball. I think Syracuse is obviously playing phenomenal basketball. Their defense looks like absolutely locked down right now. But Michigan's got Trey Burke that could shoot the ball, Hardaway that could shoot the ball, Rice that can shoot the ball. All these shooters, and they actually got some inside play. I think they're going to find some open shots. Syracuse defense is good. It's very good, but they've been vulnerable several different times throughout the season, and I think it's going to be vulnerable against a Michigan team that's just shooting the lights out. And I thought maybe they would be tired after the way they played Kansas, and they came out and they just continued to shoot lights out against Florida. I do think it's definitely the tougher of the two games to cap for myself, but I just cannot go against Michigan the way they're playing. Too many guys shooting the ball well, and they can just jump on any one of these guys back at any time. Or I think Syracuse can get stagnant on offense too. I watched them against Marquette where they go 7-8 minutes without a field goal. I don't think that's going to fly here in the Final Four. I just think Michigan's got too much firepower on offense. I got to roll with the Wolverines in this one, Pete. Again, it's not the way Syracuse is playing. I just think they have too many weapons, too many athletes. They can exploit that 2-3 zone.
Right, and you're absolutely right. The way you beat the Syracuse zone is by shooting over it. And, you look at, Michigan shot over 50% from 3-point range against Florida. So if they repeat that, obviously they're going to have a huge edge here. I'm just thinking, Michigan, teams that play half-court games sort of reduce Michigan's, edge athletically. Kansas played a half-court game. They went to overtime. They almost didn't get by Kansas. And just looking at Syracuse, I'm just thinking, when Syracuse is, sometimes their zone wilts a little bit like during the regular season. And I feel like when they have the athletes to execute it at an elite level, and they're focusing for all 40 minutes as they do in the Final Four, I feel like it just can't be beaten. But you think that Michigan will be able to do that?
I think so. I just think it's going to be a dogfight. There's no doubt. I'm not going to say either team wins this game by double digits. It's going to be an absolute dogfight. I just think Michigan has more athletes. Michigan at one point, they were the #1 team in the country, and they had that little mid-season crisis where they sputtered up a few games, but they've played in a Big Ten conference that's been lights out all year. I just think Michigan, right now, they're playing extremely, extremely well. Syracuse is too, but I just like the way Michigan's playing. I just can't go against them after what I watched that team do against Florida. They just completely dismantled them the entire game, was never really close. And I thought Florida was a good basketball team. I just think they're too deep. They're too deep for me, and they got way too many guys that could beat that 2-3 zone, so I got to roll with the Wolverines.
right, hard to argue with you, Troy West. One thing I'll be looking at is maybe betting on the team that's, if either team is down significantly at the half, betting on them to come back in the second half. But we'll see how it turns out. Thanks so much. Great input, as always, Troy.
Thanks, Pete. Appreciate it.